Alright. So I welcome all of you to another Tokyo Revengers discussion video. The discussion of this video will be interesting. As you guys all know, the story of Tokyo Revengers is in the final arc. Which means we are almost at the end of the story. And it has been officially announced. But before that, Ken Wakui-sensei has a lot more to say in the story. Before we talk about that, as usual guys, I would kindly appreciate it if you can drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Let's go into the video now. So, let's start with how many chapters have been released in the final arc so far. Chapter 194 was the beginning of the Tokyo Revengers final arc. This means the chapter began with the Bonton arc. Although there were only 10 chapters in that arc. But since then, almost 35 chapters have been released. Finally, Three Deities War arc is over now. So the final arc has almost 50 chapters so far. Tenjiku arc was previously the largest arc among Tokyo Revengers. It has 60 chapters. From chapters 135 to 185. Including the backstory of some of the characters. Based on all this, Tenjiku arc is still the biggest arc in the story. But Tenjiku arc was handled well from the beginning to the end. But at the same time, now many more things have to be revealed in the final arc. So I hope the final arc will have an extra 30 chapters. So now let's see what it is. This news was released 2 days ago. It is said that Ken Wakui will start Takamichi's final battle in the next chapter on January 5, 2022. What scenario do you see for the end of the manga? Yes. This is something that everyone knows. The whole point of this arc is to save Mikey. Although it is not known how this will end. If Ken Wakui-sensei starts the final battle immediately, it will seem like it has been rushed and ruined the whole story. I hope he takes the time he needs. Before we talk about the final battle, Ken Wakui-sensei must first tell us this matter. Why did Mikey create the Canto Manji gang? What is really the reason behind it? Mikey has always been the leader of a criminal organization in every arc. This was mentioned at the beginning of the story. Everyone close to Mikey dies in each arc. Mikey has always had the support of his brother Shinichiro and sister Emma and the Toman gang. But everything gradually began to fall into darkness. This pushed him to dark impulsive. So Ken Wakui-sensei has already mentioned all this in the story. But now we need to know the backstory behind the Canto Manji gang. Because it plays an important role in the story. Which means there are a total of 3 deities in this final arc. We know the backstory of Brahman and Rakuhara gang. This is what makes the 3 deities war meaningful. At least in my opinion. Each deity has their own unique purpose. But what about Mikey? What caused him to form the gang? And if Mikey had not formed his own Canto Manji gang, there is no reason for him to get involved in this 3 deities war. The reason he goes to war is because he is also a one of deity. So first we need the backstory of the Canto Manji gang. I'm looking forward to seeing this in the story. I hope Ken Wakui-sensei will not disappoint me. Next up is Senju and Brahman. Now the 3 deities war is over with the victory of the Canto Manji gang. But just because a war is over doesn't mean that Senju is irrelevant in the story. Brahman is the only gang of 3 deities that has been successfully executed so far. Because only that gang has given each character the perfect meaning. In the backstory of Takomi we find out how Brahman was created. More importantly, we also got along with the backstory of the number 1 gang Black Dragons in Tokyo Revengers. We got the backstory of Takomi after the Black Dragons gang was disbanded. In it we find out how the Brahman gang was formed. We also got the backstory about Wakasa and Benkei. This is why I say Brahman is the best gang ever executed. So even though Senju has now disbanded the gang, I believe it's only temporary. That is why he has to show what will happen to the Brahman gang from now on. The next thing, yes, is what everyone expected. After the battle of these 3 deities, Takamichi would have promised himself to save Mikey. But is this really possible? I don't think this is possible. Mikey fought Takamichi with the intention of hurting him badly. But Mikey will actually kill him. If Takamichi tries to do a stupid thing again, This Mikey looks very dangerous compared to the previous timeline. So Takamichi is not likely to work alone. Of course. I fully hope that at some point Omen members will help Takamichi. And the Brahman gang will join them. But if you ask me how, I really don't know the answer. But only if this happens will the story have meaning. Senju is likely to involve in the story again. She disbanded her gang. Only for the sole reason that Takamichi's life was in danger. So Takamichi definitely needs reinforcements. In chapter 235 we don't see the two characters Mitsuya and Anupi. Honestly, no wonder. Because the loss of the Draken would be so hard for them to accept. Mitsuya will probably consult with the Tomen members and come forward to help Takamichi. Because that's what Draken wants. Apart from all this, what I personally want to know is Akashi siblings. We all know that Senju, Sanzu, and Takomi are all siblings. But we don't know any information about them. In chapter 216 Takamichi will say that one mystery is solved. Which means he mentions Sanzu. But what is the real meaning behind it? If Sanzu is the main keyman here. We don't know anything about Sanzu. Since Takamichi came to this timeline. I want to know the answer to this. Also Senju knows that Sanzu is a former Tomen Gang 5th Division Vice President. So Ken Wakui-sensei has to tell us what happened between the three of them. It is vague to say that Sanzu left home for the sole reason that he did not like his siblings. So I hope Ken Wakui-sensei will give us the proper backstory about Akashi's siblings. Even if it is one chapter enough. It would be interesting to know something about Sanzu's scars too. This is something I personally want to know. So finally the war between Mikey and Takamichi. Or even the war that ends the whole story. So I think that particular arc alone will take almost 12 chapters. So there may be more chapters in the final arc. This is something we still don't know for sure. But I want the Tokyo Revengers story to end without any plot holes. So I hope Ken Wakui-sensei will take the time he needs and give us the proper ending. If you want to know something more about the story, let us know in the comments section below. Anyway, if you guys like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and good luck to all.